Because so many eyes still on the Tua saga and increased scrutiny tonight on the Miami Dolphins and the NFL and the concussions and TBIs that plague the sport. On Thursday night, Miami's starting quarterback Tua Tagovailoa suffered what was later deemed a concussion after taking a vicious hit in the second quarter. And medical experts debating whether Tua should have been playing at all on Thursday night after hitting his head hard on the ground in the Dolphins game 1 week ago against Buffalo. Now, we learned yesterday that the NFL Players Union fired the doctor who was part of making that call. And joining us now to discuss Tua's situation and how the Dolphins and the league have handled this is former NFL running back Ken Jenkins. Thank you so much for being here, Ken.
Thank you, Natasha. Thank you for having me.
You know, Ken, Tua took that big hit last Sunday night against the Bills, and many are arguing that he should not have played whatsoever on Thursday night. Do you think the Dolphins mishandled this?
Well, I don't think he should have played again on Sunday after taking that hit. And yes, it was mishandled. Where the blame goes is what we're trying to figure out now. You know, the doctor firing the doctor, I think, certainly is a good start. They have to follow the protocols, and they're not allowed to make mistakes when it comes to somebody's brain. We know enough about the brain now that something called second impact syndrome is what's most dangerous. If you don't heal from the first concussion, the second one on top of it can be deadly.
Absolutely. And, you know, the team said that he suffered a back injury against Buffalo on September 25th. Of course, we know that they've since fired one of the team neurologists who played a role in his return to the game on Thursday. Do you think that is an admission of guilt, or admission at least that something went terribly wrong in that call?
Well, I think they're going to have to get the sort of the medical report, because to all of us, it did not look like a back injury. We didn't see him grab his back. We didn't see him limp. You know, if any of us have had back problems, you know, you would grab it or you would be limping. But he was having difficulty regaining his balance, and that tells me that it was a head injury.
Do you think the NFL's concussion protocol needs to be reworked?
Well, I think we've made strides going in the right direction by having independent doctors and taking it out of the team's hand. I think in this instance, it brings just more light to how accurately we must follow these protocols. I'm not going to say disband it right now or get rid of it entirely. I think having an independent doctor in there is really important. So the team is not making the decision about where to put the guy back in or not. But the truth is, you know, the things that we've been fighting for, what we know now about the long-term effects of concussion after he retires, is as much an issue as the immediate concussion that he had then.
Absolutely. You know, at this point, we know there's at least one sports columnist as well who's posing the question, should 24-year-old Tua consider retirement at this point? Chase Goodbread with the Tuscaloosa News calling what the quarterback endured, quote, one of the most visibly worrisome concussions that he has seen in 30 years of covering football. What are your thoughts on that?
So we have seen a couple of players over the last couple of years decide that head trauma is not worth, or more head trauma is not worth continuing your career. And we've seen them walk away from the game. I think Tua has to get the best advice that he possibly can and get it from a medical professional, a neurologist that can say what his chances are going forward about the possibility of further illness after he retires. I can't advise him, as an individual. I do think it's an individual decision, but he's going to have to get the best advice he possibly can. And it wouldn't surprise me if guys like that decide to call it quits.
Should players have to make that kind of choice, you know, pursuing a lifelong passion and something that they have poured obviously so much blood, sweat, and tears into? And potentially CTE and terrible long-term TBI issues down the line. Is it even fair to put that on the shoulders of a player to make that sort of determination for themselves?
Well, let's understand that the game of football, you're not going to eliminate concussions. You just are not. The protocol is to allow you to heal before you go back into the game and are in danger of another concussion. I mean, we look at NASCAR, and a lot of people look at NASCAR because of the crashes, and we know that the game is dangerous, and these players know that the game is dangerous, but they have to be more in tune and get reliable advice from several neurologists to help them make that decision. Is it fair for them to have to make that decision? I can't answer that question. I can only say that it's going to happen, and every NFL player that I know is going to have a concussion at some point.
It's inherent to the game. I absolutely hear you, Ken. I just want to say, I know how much work that you've done in fighting for the rights of NFL families. Thank you so much for the work that you do. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for keeping a light on the subject. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.